50-point lead in his championship. But it's not over. Still got 7 races to go, including today. So anything could happen. No one's really running away with it. Even in the constructors, it is so tight. But tonight, we're here, Albert Park. 14 corners, 3 DRS zones, 1 down the main straight, 1 in sector 2 where they reprofiled the track a couple of years ago, and then the next one right at the start of sector 3 after that. Fast left-right kink, chicane, whatever it is, that catches so many people out if they touch the curbs. Yeah, it's fast track, fast lap times, 117s, 120s at the most, depending on fuel load. So it's going to be an intense race. First race in Albert Park was 1996, just 4 months after the last Australian race in Adelaide, where a couple of years earlier that famous moment happened. I remember it well, early in the morning. Schumacher accidentally clipping Hill so that he won the championship. But then we moved on to the new track in Adelaide. It had already been announced back then that it was going to happen. The circuit's seen some brilliant races. It dominated the season opener in real F1 for quite some time until Bahrain took that mantle away. But it's always been a track that can throw up some curveballs. It can have some weather. It can have tricky conditions. Cars, it's not a typical track for all the cars. So you'll see some different form in terms of driving styles. And hopefully it'll be an enjoyable, trouble-free track. We've had 2 races here so far, Season 2 and Season 4. Both of them saw Swanson take the victory. He claims it's not his favourite track, but it's one of the few DRS tracks where we've had the same person on the podium in terms of victories, but also second place has been Scornful Griffin twice as well. So will that change this week? Syme enjoys the track. He's quite quick around this track, but he hasn't translated that into a race victory or even a podium yet. With his highest finish of 5th, and last season, or season 4 I should say, he finished 14th. Let's have a look at a hot lap round here then. So going down to turn 1, it's a tricky braking zone, tricky to judge when to turn in. You want to be clipping that inside curb just slightly and then running the outside curb without invalidating, which is where the challenge comes. Straight into the first DRS zone, down to turn 3. Again, another challenging braking zone. Certainly on the first lap, there's cars everywhere. Cars tussling for position around here. But again, you're clipping that inside curb, running wide, sweeping across the track to get a good run through turn 5 and 6 down to the reprofiled section of the track, which is a fast sweeping right, left onto a long straight. It's flat out. It's certainly not straight with another DRS zone. So you're going down there and you're keeping as close to the edges, making the track as short as possible. You're then judging a turning point. It's a quick drop down of the gears, sweeping left, right, avoiding that curb on the right there, because that unsettles the car. It can throw you left into the barriers outside. It can spin you around into the barriers on the right. And that's what came to destroy MK5's race last time out, in the last few laps, just clipping that curb and losing the back end. Then, straight after that, another DRS zone. Down to turn 10, maybe. Another reprofiled corner. A corner I hate now they've reprofiled it. Getting the turning right is so tricky, and you can lose so much time through here. Getting that turning right, just clipping that inside curve again, but not running too much of the exit curve because it kills the traction on the car. It's quite bumpy out there. You're then sweeping through the last few corners, pretty much flat out, little lift on the first one, brake for a tricky left-hander, because ultimately using that to line you up for a full throttle blast back down that right-hander to the start and finish line, and yet another DRS zone. So with times on time trial, looking around the mid 117s is a good one. Who knows what's going to happen in the race? So many walls, they're quite close. Such a tricky to circuit in terms of the curbs, and it's a challenge to overtake. What we don't want to see is stupid moves. Like we always say, make the move stick, make it clear, obvious, and in time. Because we don't want stupid things. We don't want safety cars. But saying that, so far we have a 100% record at Australia for safety cars. 2 safety cars, two races. There's pretty much a very high chance there will be a safety car tonight. Maybe even a red flag, but hopefully not. And again, the weather can change massively here. Could be a wet qualifying, could be wet in the race, just like last week. But let's hope some clean, strong racing. Have a look at race start. I've only got the one from season 4. We have Joker on pole. Pole here is on the outside on the racing line, which is brilliant. It gives you that perfect run down to turn 1. With MK5 next to Swanton in third, as long as you get a good launch, you can keep that line down to turn 1, and then it's just getting turning right and holding that position. All the top 3 maintain their position. Bit of tussling at the back, Swanton challenging MK5 for that second place, but other than that, they maintain their positions. Further down, as you can see, 4 wide, trying to make the most out of that, because they know once they get into that rhythm routine train, it could be a challenge, and any move after that is going to be tough, and it's going to have to be pinpoint due to the nature of the track. There's not many straights, there's not many braking zones that are heavy where you can actually throw it up the inside and make it stick without some sort of panic. So that's your run through of Albert Park. It's now time to head down under to Blobby for the start of the DRS Australian Grand Prix. See you on track.
We will go with him on his hot lap to start us off. Good evening to Stacey in the chat. Hello. Hope you've had a lovely day. Mine has been mainly taken up by snoozing, and hopefully I'll have enough energy to get me around Zandvoort later this evening on Blobby Mondays with Baker Plays. We are off to the Netherlands this evening. As always, folks, good evening to Bazza in the chat on DRL UK. As always, folks, get your predictions in the chat. Get your commentators' curses in so I don't have to. Who are we looking out for? Here's Syme starting the first hot lap of the day. Seems like he's cruising, but maybe he's not going for a hot lap. That seems very odd. Let's go to Easy Life instead. New follower on Twitch, Easy Life, thank you for that. Here he is, there's Syme getting out the way. So for some reason Syme didn't fancy a hot lap on this occasion. Just a reminder, DRS UK Extreme Division does come to you on Thursday nights from 8 PM. I'm not here this week, so someone else will be in my place. This will be King Kong or Sainsy. As Easy Life is going to set a 119.5. Here is Sainsy. He does a 119.0. Syme, as we saw, wasn't really bothering. He's going to be starting now. He did a 143 on that occasion. We'll go with him here. And now he's going for it. Keep an eye on the timing as others come through. Senna 119.2. El Buckle 121. Bit of Vanilla 19.7. Having a great season is Miller Vanilla in the Alpha Tauri. Ronnie 119.2 goes third. Mr. Pickle 119.8 for Ferrari. So far nobody beating that Sainsy 119.0. Boris is in with a 119.3. Just behind his Alpine teammate Ronnie. They've been reunited today. Syme round the last corner. Almost invalidated. Going wide. And that's provisional pole with 118.5. Syme. Let's go and see Swanton. As Smug beats Syme with a 118.5 of his own. Here's Swanton in sector 3. He's well down. Perhaps not. It's down on the... He is well down. That's a 120 and that's 12th. That's unlike him. Here's 50 Gent. We'll go and see Brad shortly. Levi's on the board with a 119.7. Colin in third with a 118.6. And Mr. Pickle also improving with 118.7. Here comes 50 across the line. 119.7 for him, P12. Here's Brad. With a few yet to come out. This looks good from Brad so far. Levi improves to a 1:19.0. The Ferrari's 4 and 5 at the moment. Where is Brad going to put this Haas? It's provisional pole for Brad Mason, 1:18.0. Sloth is out on track for Williams. Five of them yet to set a time now. Al Newt is also out. Joker likes to leave it late. He's on an out lap as well. As is Skippy. Al Newt's out! Out is Al Newt! Sloth does a 1:19.9 in 14th, but Al Newt is out and has not set a time. So Al Newt will start at the back of the grid. Here is Joker. Hello to Swanton in the chat on DRL UK. What are you doing down there in 15th, Swanton? Oh, and a crash! And off! Off goes Joker! He's hit a slow-moving car on the side of the track there, Miller Vanilla, who has got a 5-place grid penalty, and Joker is out! That's an unreal incident. Skippy comes across the line in 1:20.6 and goes 15th. Here's Sainsy, slightly improved on Sector 1. What a bizarre incident there as Joker. It was very much like we saw with Ocon and Alonso in real life at the weekend. A slow-moving car off the racing line, and Joker managed to clip him. Miller, unfortunately, as well, has a 5-place penalty. Which is going to put him near the back. Here comes Sainsy. Is he going to improve on P9? He is indeed. P2 for Sainsy. 1:18.2. Lovely lap. Boris and Ronnie just starting new laps. There's Colin, who's invalidated. And here's Simon. He's a little bit up on his time, but not a lot. He's a bit less curve on the exit to the last corner this time, though. And does improve, but not his position. Stays third. Only just ahead of Smug, who's on an out lap. See how Boris is getting on a bit further through his lap. Boris into the pit lane. Brad's back on track, just keep an eye on him. you see the conclusion of Ronnie's lap, which is also going to end in the pit lane. So here's Brad, he's a 10th up through sector 1. Just over 5 minutes left in the session. A lot of drivers now in the pits, preparing for their final runs, I think. Here comes Brad. Does he improve on his pole time and beat 118? He does! And he does big! 117.4 for Brad Mason. Surely that's going to be enough for the Haas. Smug improves to a 118.0 for P2. Colin does a 118.6 to go P5. And he's now going slowly. El Buckle is on a hot lap. Currently a 120, which has got him 15th. So 4 minutes left in the session. Brad has really set the bar here. A 117.4. Smug got to his previous time, which was a 118.0. Sainsy up in third. Cracking qualifying session for him so far. And it's Simon, Colin, Sloth, and the Alpines and Ferraris making up the top 10. The surprise is Swanton at the moment in 17th. We'll go to him as he's back on track. Here's El Buckle. Is he going to improve? No, he is not. And Swanton's way down on his time, so he'll be cruising round for another go. Skippy is out on track. Not sure if he was having a wobble there or that was a glitch. Definitely some glitching going on there with Skippy. Ooh, big wobble. Or was that another glitch? I'm not sure. Let's leave Skippy to it. It's easy life. That's on medium tyres. Well over his time. So is Miller. So is Senna. Ninja's just starting the lap as is Syme. We'll go up to Syme. Ignore the yellow flags during qualifying sessions. Drivers going slowly, letting each other pass, etc. No problems there. Simon into sector 3. What can he do to improve on his current P4? Levi's up to P5. Swanton, there he is. Second, 117.9 for Swanton. 117.8 for Syme. So it's now Brad, Syme, Swanton and Smug. Swanson, I knew he was in 17th, was a falsehood. And now he is up to P3. I'm just getting out of the way of some traffic as we come to him. Sainzy's going for another go. Less than a minute left now, folks. So what we'll do is we will wait for the checkered flag and then see who are on hot laps after it. Try and catch who's coming to the end of their lap. Brad's just started one, as has Smug, I think, or is just about to. Let's see what Sainzy's showing as he comes to the end of sector 2. He's showing 4/10 over. The Ferraris are going to get over the line to start another lap. Mr. Pickle, in fact, goes 5th with a 1:18.1. Boris has got over the line, 5 seconds left. It's going to be tight for the rest, and the Mercedes didn't make it. Here is Sainsy finishing his lap and not improving. So now let's see who's coming to the checkered flag. Sloth, he's doing nothing with it. Colin then. Colin, and then there's a Haas behind him. So it's probably Brad. So it's Colin. 1:18.3 puts him 7th. Where's Brad? Here he is. Does beat his own time. 1:17.4, but trimmed a little bit more off of it. Swanton has gone across the line. Senna going into the pits. Smug has crossed the line. That's 50 Gent going over. Where are the Ferraris? Levi is down, and so is Mr. Pickle. So we've got Ronnie goes 7th with a 1:18.2. And Miller Vanilla, I think, is going to be the last one, and he's well over. I think he's the last one to cross the line, so it's Brad Mason's Haas who will lead them off. Gunther Steiner, a happy man. Down under. As your qualifying complete there with Brad Mason in the Haas taking the P1 from Syme in second in the Alfa Romeo. Then it's Swanton's Mercedes and Smug's Red Bull. Mercedes and Red Bull next to each other, always fun. Mr. Pickle in 5th place for Ferrari, followed by Sainzy's Aston Martin. A cracking qualifying session for him. Ronnie is 7th for Alpine. Colin in 8th for AlphaTauri. Levi and Boris round off the top 10. Then it's Sloth, Skippy, 50, Senna, Miller Vanilla, who has that 5-place penalty, so he'll be at the back. Easy Life, El Buckle, Ninjas, and the two that didn't send a lap were Al Newt and Joker. We get a little break now as the drivers get their strategies and fuel loads, etc. If you're watching on DRL UK, you'll now see some standings and stats. If you're watching on mine, you just have to listen because I'm going to take you through them myself. So, here we go. We start with the drivers' standings, and it is Syme who leads from Swanton by 9 points, and they've got a big gap back to Smug. Brad is nowhere to be seen in this list, so he must be a reserve. So Syme is the one at the moment with Swanton. That's the battle at the moment for the Drivers' Championship. The Pro-Ams, Miller Vanilla is clear. He has got double the amount of points as anybody else has. 50 Gent and Ronnie are in a close battle with Easy Life, Al Newt and Skippy for second. They're all separated by just 8 points. But Miller Vanilla is clear. Sainsy taking the Pro-Am pole today. In the Constructors, Alpha Tauri topped the play by 13 points from Alfa Romeo. Then it's Red Bull and Mercedes, followed closely by McLaren, Alpine and Williams. Then it's Aston Martin, Haas and Ferrari at the bottom. So that gets you bang up to date then. I'll of course take you through all the drivers' tyre selections on the formation lap. Hello to Jonathan in the chat. He'll be joining us in Zandvoort later on. Just waiting for the signal. Certainly, we've got an interesting race here coming up. And then we've got another interesting one on Blobby Mondays with Baker Plays. Sainsy and Baz are saying good luck to everybody. Not one of my favourite tracks, Zandvoort, so I'll just take what I can get. Hope to continue my record of getting points in every race. Only driver to do so. Well, technically Baker, but he didn't start Monaco because of his game updating. So hopefully I'll get in the top 10. We should have a nice semi-full grid. I've done no practice at all. Not touched the time trial all week because I've been so busy. So we will see what we get. Should have pretty full grid though. We've now filled another of those empty seats. Solin in his home Grand Prix has got a teammate in the Aston Martin with Kieran joining. But first we have this, and we are underway on the formation lap. And a lovely mix of opinions on tyres. Brad Mason and Syme the front row on mediums. Swanton and Smug the second row on hards. Then Mr. Pickles on mediums and Sainsy is on hards. Ronnie's on mediums and Colin has gone for softs. So a bold choice for Colin. Then it's Levi and Boris on mediums, Sloth on hards. Skippy, 50 and Senna all on the mediums. Easy Life's on the hards. El Buckle and Ninjas are on the mediums. Al Newt is on the softs. And the two who had a little coming together in qualifying, Joker and Miller, are on the hards. Could it be an opportunity for the field to catch up a bit in the Pro-Ams? Especially Sainsy, who's up there in 6th. With Miller Vanilla in 20th, could this be the opportunity to start eating into Miller's lead? Or is Miller going to do a last to first challenge? With regards to setups, car setups, I haven't even gone there yet, Stace. To be honest, I've got all mine All I did was set up your race settings to match them with the league. So Brad leads them round onto the grid. Joker's been disqualified for his parking. Last couple just coming up to the start now. Is it going to give you this awful camera view? I hope not. Don't want that. It's easy, you know. So let's go with Syme off the grid. He has the inside line. 5 lights and away we go. Sounded like maybe he got stuck in gear a little bit there, Syme. But he comes through in second place. Smug's lost a couple of places. Colin was up a couple and then down a couple. He's having a right ding-dong. Boris is up into 7th ahead of Colin. And they're both off! Off go Boris and Colin! Boris and Colin are going to have to spin round and start again from the back. Contact made there. Brad leads from Syme, and then Swanton, who's got Mr. Pickle all over the back of him. Ronnie's up to 5th. Smug is in 6th place. Then it's Sainsy ahead of Levi, who's got Sloth for company. Swanton takes Syme for 2nd. Syme's going to try and fight it back. Good battling here. Mr. Pickle's right in there as well. And Mr. Pickle's forced wide. Which means Swanton could just keep it. But Mr. Pickle's going to try and run around his outside. Round the outside goes Mr. Pickle. Brad's away by over a second already. Mr. Pickle, Ronnie and Smug all trying to get Swanton here. Joker into the pits. So the hard tyre for him did not work. He might have got damaged, but he's now out on mediums. Swanton at the moment leading a train of cars through. Mr. Pickle, Ronnie, Smug, Sainsy. Levi trying to get involved as well. And we've got a virtual safety car, folks. I didn't see what happened, but we have a virtual safety car. I'm not sure what's caused it. Boris has lost his front wing, and it might be Boris and Colin coming together again. Boris has lost his front wing, and we have a virtual safety car. So Brad leads from Syme. No warning as to when the virtual safety car goes away, and Syme has got a drive-through. It's a drive-through for Syme. We're back racing. Mr. Pickle's having a look to try and get past Swanton. Ronnie is also having a look for Mr. Pickle. Into the pits comes Ninjas and El Buckle and Boris. Syme a drive-through, and that's going to ruin his race. Especially this early where the field is bunched. He's going to lose many places with that. Mr. Pickle getting very close to the back of Swanton once again. They're now both with Syme as well. And Swanton goes around the outside of Syme. And so does Mr. Pickle. Mr. Pickle and Swanton going past Syme there. And look at them all bunched behind. This is working lovely for Brad as he's just driven off and he's 2.5 seconds up the road as Syme comes in for his drive-through. Brad sets the fastest lap of the race, but it's beaten by Swanton. And then Skippy. And who's that? Is that Sainzy's off? Sainsy went off there. And now Levi has taken the lead of the Pro-Ams. A mistake for Sainsy. Levi up to 6. Sainsy now 7. Ahead of Skippy and Al Newt. That was for the Pro-Am lead. Skippy still glitching everywhere on my screen. Hopefully not for the other drivers. Have had some glitch problems this week. As if you were in on Thursday, you saw. Mr. Pickles going for second. They're side by side through the corner. Swanton tries to switch back. Beautiful racing by the two of them. Mr. Pickle has the DRS, and that's going to be enough to take P2. The Ferrari up to second. 50 and Al Newt scrapping away. Important times in the Pro-Ams, though Miller Vanilla is already up to 12th from 20th. Brad sets the fastest lap of the race again, and it's beaten by Mr. Pickle. Levi going for Smug. And Smug keeps that place, but for how long? Levi's going to try it again here. Up to the next corner. He's got to be careful. He's got Sainsy right in behind him. Skippy looking on from further back. This is the battle for the Pro-Am lead. And was that a touch of the wall for Sainsy? Boris sets the fastest lap of the race. He's currently last. And a corner cut there by Sainsy. Gets him a penalty. You saw it. That's a 3-second penalty for Sainsy. And Skippy's going to have a look. The pressure of leading in the Pro and getting to Sainsy a little here. He's got Skippy for company now. As he starts to lose the back of Levi. Who's going to be making a move down the straight? Levi once again on Smug. And Levi up into 5th place. And he's now got a driver between him and Sainsy, which helps him. Syme has come back out of his drive-through in 14th place. He's got some work to do. Easy Life picks up a penalty and Skippy's off. Off goes Skippy. He's broken his front wing. Skippy's broken his front wing. And 50 Gent is now up to 3rd in the Pro-Ams. But for how long? Because Al Newt is going for him. And Al Newt goes up into 3rd of the Pro-Ams. And 50 is spun. 50 Gent spins on the exit of the chicane. And we've got another virtual safety car. And another broken front wing. The Red Bull. He was fortunate that didn't end in a DNF. Syme is now not going to be allowed to pass him. Because we're under VSC, and off again goes 50 to let a couple through. That's fair enough. Brad is in the pits. It's an early pit stop for Brad under a VSC. He's going for hard tyres. Mr. Pickle leads. Skippy has got a 5-second penalty. And Senna's got a 3. few others pitting. Sainsy, Skippy, Easy Life, 50. And we're back racing again. Mr. Pickle leads from Swanton. Ronnie is up to third. Then it's Levi. Smug is fifth from Al Newt. Miller Vanilla. Check I need to do is the status of Ronnie. Is he in the primes? He is. Ronnie is third in the Pro-Ams. So Ronnie currently leads in terms of the Pro-Ams. He's in P3. He's ahead of Levi now. And he might be over second here. Al Newt passes Smug. That's because Smug is in the pits. Syme is back up to 9th. Miller Vanilla is up to 6th. Remember, he started at the back. Brad Mason, though, is going to pass him. Was the leader before pitting and is now back up to 6th place ahead of Miller in 7th. Syme is in 8th. Smug's going to rejoin down in 14th. So just virtual safety cars so far. Couple of them. Some front wing loss, but no DNFs as of yet. Al Newt going for Levi and up into 4th. The soft tyres working well for Al Newt. And look at this, we've got Pro-Ams in 3, 4 and 5. Ronnie, Al Newt, Levi. Could one of them get an actual race podium on top of their own championship points? Ronnie getting close to the back of Swanton. With a bit of DRS, has a little look. Forces Swanton wide. Great driving by Ronnie. Mr. Pickles picks up a penalty. Mr. Pickle, the leader, has a penalty. So Ronnie technically is the net leader. We've got a yellow in sector 3. Somebody's going slowly. It might be Sainsy. No, seems like that he's all right. Not sure who that was. 50 Gent sets the fastest lap of the race. So Mr. Pickle leads but has that penalty. Then it's Ronnie in 2nd. Swanton is 3rd. Al Newt in 4th. Levi is 5th from Brad Mason in 6th. Miller Vanilla 7. Syme 8th. Colin 9. And Sloth is 10th. All 20 still running. We're on lap 9 of 29. As the penalties begin to stack up, Ninjas has picked a penalty up. As you can see, not much to separate the leaders at the moment. Collins in the pits. Got another yellow somewhere. I think it's just crowded on the track. Colin into the pits. Smug's in the pits again. So Smug must have come to some kind of problem. A second pit stop in quick succession for Smug. And that's going to leave him right near the back, if not right at the back of the field. Smug rejoins in 19th place. Ronnie is closing in on the leader, Mr. Pickle. The Swanton looking in behind, as you can see. Fifty Gent battling away with Senna in the lower midfield. Smug picks up a penalty. Levi into the pits. Easy Life has passed Sloth. And up into 9th place. Fresh soft tyres for him. Ninjas picks another penalty up. Levi is going to rejoin behind Easy Life and Sloth, but ahead of Sainsy. Maybe not though, as Sainsy gets past him on the first corner there. So Levi rejoins it now in 11th behind Sainsy. Swanton is going to pass Ronnie. And Swanton retakes second from Ronnie. Double DRS zone, that one. Joker picks up a penalty. And so does Senna. Penalties stacking up now. A few more drivers getting them. Will they be decisive at the end of the race? We're over a third of the way through now. As Mr. Pickle begins lap 12 of 29. Sloth still close with Easy Life. So the Pro-Am at the moment, it's Ronnie from Al Newt, and Miller Vanilla somehow is up to 6th place overall and 3rd of the Pro-Ams from the very rear of the grid. This is a scrap here. Easy Life and Sloth trying to go round his outside. And Sloth does go round his outside. Brad Mason passes Al Newt a bit further up the road. We're going to stick with this because Easy Life has now got Sainsy and Levi. Hello to Squid in the chat. Looking forward to seeing you later on as Sainsy picks up a time penalty. And off he goes. Off goes Sainsy. And he's going to lose a place to Levi there. Looking forward to seeing you in Zandvoort later on, Squid. Swanton closing in for the lead now. Ronnie just couldn't keep the pace with the leaders. His focus will be winning that Pro-Am section. Into the pits, in fact, is Ronnie. Maybe his tyres had just gone off. Got to expect Al Newt in shortly as well. But he's still going. Well, you're a braver person than me going on medium traction. I'm sticking to what I know. No spinnies for me. Syme is back up to 6. Look at this, Sloth. And Levi going past Easy Life there. Ronnie has rejoined in 7th. And 3rd of the Pro-Ams. He's ahead of Levi and virtual safety car. Who's done what here? Sainsy's in the pits. It's Boris, I think. Do I see Boris with no front wing again? I do! Boris has lost his front wing once again, and we've got another virtual safety car. And that is surely going to lead the leaders to pit. Mr. Pickle pits. Swanton continues on. Al Newt will surely pit now. And hope for a long VSC. I wouldn't quite say that, Squid. Boris, pretty quick, but having a bad day. Al Newt indeed pits, as does Miller Vanilla. Sloth has got a drive through. Miller Vanilla's got a 5-second speeding penalty. Syme is going to go past two of them, but Mr. Pickle's back out. Ronnie goes back up into the lead of the Pro-Ams. Levi is going to come past Al Newt. Joker is up to 8th. Miller rejoins in 10th behind Skippy. Then 50 Gent sloths in the pits. Easy Life, Boris and Senna all in the pits, so Smug will get a few places back. We've got a yellow in sector 1 now, and somebody's off. Sloth is off. Off goes Sloth, and there's an Alpha Tauri going slowly as well. That's Colin. So I'm not sure what happened there, and Colin nearly outbreaks himself into the back of Ninjas, and now they're looking to go 3 wide. It's Colin, Ninjas and Sainsy who finds himself down in 17th somehow. After such a great start and a good qualifying. It's all go and all change. Swanton then leads from Brad in 2nd. Mr. Pickle has come out in 3rd place. Syme back up to 4th. Ronnie in 5th. Levi now 6th. Al Newt 7th. From Joker in 8th, Skippy in 9th, and Miller Vanilla is 10th. Into the pits comes Sloth. May have had some damage. Miller Vanilla and Skippy going at it. Big wobble for Skippy, but keeps the place. Goes wide though. Miller Vanilla trying to get past, but at the moment cannot do it. Syme and Ronnie. Syme and Ronnie scrapping. Miller Vanilla and Skippy scrapping. Ronnie managed to get DRS to defend with that time. Miller has got the move on Skippy. Levi catching up now to Syme as Sainsy passes Colin.
British constructor Arrows never won a race after 393 attempts.
Boris passes Senna. Here's Levi up the inside of Syme. Not quite this time. Al Newt sets the fastest lap. 50 and Skippy fighting. And Skippy has bailed out and gone to the pits. So he's out of the way of 50 and Easy Life as well. Smug back up to 12th. Al Newt closing in on Levi. They're both being held up a bit by Syme, I think. Al Newt and Levi, they might both go for Syme here. Levi passes Syme. And Al Newt's going to look up the inside, is he? No, he isn't, not this time. So Levi up to 5th place. He'll now try and get after Ronnie. Brad closing the gap slightly on Swanton.
Affectionately known as the Jackhammer.
There goes Al Newt up into 6th place. Syme on very old tyres, and he's feeling it now. 50 Gent into the pit lane. Swanton also on very old tyres. Brad is catching. Al Newt had a bit of a wobble. We've got a yellow in sector 3. And I'm not sure why. Nothing really going on there. Boris sets the fastest lap of the race. Told you he was quick, Squid. .50 Gent has rejoined in 14th. Remarkably, all 20 are still going. Levi picks up a penalty. Over half distance now, and everyone is still going. Swanton pits from the lead for soft tyres to the end. Where is Ronnie? Ronnie's coming out of the last corner, so Swanton will rejoin in third. Now we'll try and get after the front two. He needs some qualifying style fastest laps from here to get after Mr. Pickle and Brad Syme into the pits. And where's Easy Life? Easy Life's coming down the straight. This one's going to be tight. This one's going to be very tight. Where is Syme? He is behind Easy Life, but ahead of Smug. So Syme comes out in 10th. Look out for him to make some overtakes. And of course he doesn't have any penalties, which is going to help. Al Newt still close behind Levi. Al Newt really going for it. Syme picks up a penalty, just as I said that he didn't have any. Sorry, Syme. Commentator's curse. We would expect Syme on the soft tyres to maybe make some inroads. Miller Vanilla passes Joker. And up to 7th goes Miller. Great recovery drive so far, but looks like he's not going to quite make the top 3 of the Pro-Ams, barring mistakes. Al Newt up to P2 of the Pro-Ams, ahead of Levi. 5th and 6th overall, with Ronnie just a second and a half up the road. They want to get after him. Everyone a bit spaced out now. Syme will try and close on Easy Life though. Let's have a little look at those penalties. Well, there's not many battles going on. Senna's got 9 seconds. Ninjas and Sainsy with 6. 5 for Miller. And 3 for Mr. Pickle, Levi, Joker, Easy Life, Syme and Smug. Brad leads then. Mr. Pickle 4 seconds down the road. Swanton 5.5 behind Mr. Pickle as Syme goes the long way around the outside of Easy Life and up into 9th. He's got a way to go to catch up the other McLaren of Joker, but still a good 9 laps to do so. Into the pits comes Joker, so in fact he won't need to catch him. Syme will get him anyway. So Joker pits. And up to 8th goes Syme. Back into the points goes Smug. Sainsy also ahead of Joker, who comes out in 13th behind Colin and ahead of Boris. Into the pits comes Ninjas. Levi still won't leave Al Newt alone. And a caution in sector 1. And that's Boris, I think. Boris is off again. A real bad day for the former Prime Minister. Down in 17th. He's had about 4 front wings and a couple of spins. So not a good day for Boris. Joker catching Colin, and should be a routine pass for him. With fresh soft tyres on. It is. He's up to 12th. Levi will still not leave Al Newt alone. Senna and Boris going at it. And off is a Mercedes. That's Senna. Off goes Senna. He was battling with Boris. Smug's in the pits once again. So we'll drop back out of the points. Mr. Pickle is closing the gap to Brad Mason, and Swanton is closing the gap to Mr. Pickle. That's Ninjas, you see, in front of Swanton, who is about to lap. At the moment, the gaps are closing for a grandstand finish. If Swanton can keep the tyres going all the way to the line, he's still got a chance for the race win. Someone else is in the pits. That's Senna. We saw him have a little accident with Boris. Don't know if it was with Boris, but Boris was certainly nearby. Joker is catching Sainsy very quickly, and it's going to be another routine pass for Joker. And back up to 10th place goes Joker. Back into the points he goes. Al Newt now within a second of Ronnie. Levi's still with them. That's Senna you can see behind. He's a lap down, having just pit. And another random yellow flag in sector 3, which is doing nothing. Boris Johnson is out. And we've got a safety car. Full course safety car, folks. Boris Johnson is out. And we've got a full safety car. And this is very interesting now. Brad's on really old tyres. He's surely going to have to pit. And does. Mr. Pickle is pitting. Swanton, I'm assuming, won't. Oh, he does. Swanton does. What's Ronnie going to do? Ronnie leading the Pro-Am at the moment, but only by, as you can see, very little. Al Newt's gone deep and got off. Ronnie pits, Al Newt pits, Levi pits. Senna did not, as he'd just come out of the pits. He's a lap down. He'll be hoping he can get back round, but I don't think he can, ahead of everyone else. Miller pits. Syme is going to stay out. Syme's going to stay out, but how many positions is he going to gain? Just one, I think. Just one position gain for Syme, who now goes 7th. Nearly everybody else is pitting. Did Easy Life pit? Maybe not. He doesn't usually pit on safety cars, to be fair. He is 8th. Either that or he's put on old tyres. So everybody practically pitting now. And that Mr. Pickle penalty is going to cost him. But we've got a grandstand finish here. We've got a sprint race finish. By the time everybody gets back together, that's Ninjas going into the pits. By the time everybody gets back together, we'll probably have 4 or 5 laps of racing. As you can see, Senna did not get around. He's in the middle of the field, but a lap down. Ninjas is on the same lap as the field, so Ninjas is going to be able to catch the field. Unfortunately, due to the rules of the game not allowing lapped cars to pass, El Buckle and Senna effectively have had their races terminated early as they are a lap down and unable to unlap themselves. A lap down, not the place to be when the safety car comes out, unfortunately for those two. So 19 still going for this sprint finish. We're on lap 24. Ninjas has got a long way to catch up, so I don't believe the safety car will be exiting the scene on this lap, which would mean lap 25 will also be a safety car lap. Speculating, of course, it could come in this lap and just leave Skippy and Ninjas a bit behind. Skippy is only just behind the field now, catching quite quickly. Ninjas is way back still in sector 1. Safety car enters sector 3 and has not thrown a sign that it is in. So Swanton will be very glad to have his teammate right behind him as a kind of buffer to Ronnie Al-Newt and Levi, who are all battling for the Pro-Am victory. Though in the cases of both Ferraris, those penalties may hurt, with everyone being put back so close together. So we'll go for another lap of safety car. As you can see, he's not in the pit lane, he is on the main straight. Ninjas will catch the field pretty much as they start this lap. So we will have 26, 27, 28, 29, 4 laps, sprint finish to this race here in Melbourne. It's Brad who leads them, so he will be pacing the field in sector 3. Able to back them up, but not too much like we saw in Jeddah with Jack, I believe his name was, who has since departed. The scene of the infamous Swanton DNF after collision with Ben Lane. Bazza says bad day at the office for Boris. He had quite a few of those over the last few years. Or his real life namesake rather than the driver, who's usually very, very good. And they're getting a bit stacked through this chicane here, some of them. Brad will now pace them. Very aggressively warming the tyres. Mr. Pickle choosing to keep it on a straight line for now. So what is going to happen? The safety car enters the pit lane. Brad's leaving it very, very late. He's still not gone and almost into the back of each other. They're going in behind. Brad left it very, very late. Caused a bit of a pile up in behind. Think everybody got through okay, but Brad leads away from Mr. Pickle. Then it's Swanton. Collins had a problem, I think, and lost a few places. Miller Vanilla passes Easy Life. There's going to be a sitting duck on those medium tyres, surely. And a little spin there in behind from it. Oh, that was El Buckle who was spinning, so he was ghosted, so it didn't cause any problems. Thought it might have been Sainsy for a second. Brad from Mr. Pickle, from Swanton. Then it's Ronnie, Al Newt and Levi, followed by Syme. Colin lost places off the restart. He's down in 15th. A bit of a wobble from the McLaren, and Smug's got 2 McLarens. Sainsy is out. Sainzy's out of the race. And we got another safety car. I cannot believe it. The safety car is out. And this is going to end in a one-lap sprint race. Smug managed to pass both McLarens. Further back, Sainsy is out. And we've got another safety car. So it's a bad day for Aston Martin. El Buckle is running last and Sainsy is out of the race. It's the worst possible thing for Mr. Pickle with that penalty. And Levi, of course. And Miller Vanilla might just get that Pro-Am podium after all. So this is lap 27. Everybody is together. So technically the safety car could exit this lap and give us 2 laps racing to finish the race. Sainsy leaves, causing a little bit of glitching, but not too much. So we could have a 2-lap or 1-lap sprint race, depending on what they want to do here. Safety car is in this lap, so we have a 2-lap sprint race to finish the day. It's Brad from Mr. Pickle and Swanton. Then the 3 Pro-Ams, Ronnie, Al Newt and Levi. Then it's Sime, Miller Vanilla, Smug, Joker, Easy Life just outside the points. Probably ruining the fact that he didn't pit. Then it's Sloth 50, Colin, Ninjas, Skippy, and a lap down are Senna and El Buckle. Sloth has gone past Easy Life. Smug, Joker's hit Smug and got a 5-second penalty. Into the pits comes Smug and Joker, and that's going to be the end of theirs. And look at this, 50 Gents just jumped about 8 positions. He's going to have to give them all back. 50 went in hot. Sector 1, yellow. Everyone's managed to get through there, have they? Don't know where to look here. Everyone has managed to get through. It's Brad from Mr. Pickle, then Swanton, Ronnie, Al Nuke, Levi, Sime, Miller, Sloth and 50 Gent now. Smug and Joker, their point positions are gone. Al Nuke having a real look for this Pro-Am win. Ronnie's under pressure. Ronnie's under real pressure, but he's also putting pressure on Swanton for the podium. El Buckles picks up another time penalty. Mr. Pickle closing in on Brad, but he's not going to be able to get 3 seconds away. Brad Mason goes round the last corner to start the final lap of the race. No DRS, of course. El Buckle's out of the race. Out of the race is El Buckle. So Aston Martin's bad day is rounded off. Miller Vanilla and Sime are side by side and battling. And Miller gets up the inside, gets round the outside and into 7th place. There's a ghosting car in amongst the field. That will be Senna. Sloth picks up a penalty and that's going to hurt him badly. Mr. Pickle continues. Al Newt continues to chase the lead of the Pro-Am here. Is he going to get up the inside of Ronnie? Oh, they touch and Al Newt's off! And Al Newt's out of the race. What a shame. What a shame that is. Mr. Pickle closing in on Brad Mason. It's all happening. I wish we had another 5 laps. Al Newt's out of the race. Brad Mason is going to come round to win. Mr. Pickle's going to chase him home all the way, but Brad Mason wins in Australia. Mr. Pickle comes across second, but will lose that to Swanton. Ronnie wins the Pro-Am in 4th from Levi. Miller Vanilla takes him on penalties. A great finish for Miller Vanilla in 5th and 2nd in the Pro-Am. Levi finishes 6th and 3rd in the Pro-Ams. 50 Gent was 7th. Simon 8th, Skippy 9th, and Sloth comes home in 10th ahead of Easy Life. Colin 12th, Ninja's 13th, and we Smug in 14th, and Joker will come home 15th. Wow! What a race! Miller Vanilla, driver of the day for the game. 5th place from the back, 2nd in the Pro-Ams. A great result for him to keep that big lead he has at the top. What a shame for Al Newt. But Ronnie, barring penalties, as the stewards will look at that, Ronnie takes the Pro-Am win. But top step today goes to Brad Mason, the Hash driver leading from pole position and taking the victory. A good result for Swanton in 2nd, not one of his favourite tracks, and Mr. Pickle's penalty costing him, but he still finished in 3rd and got on the podium for Ferrari, who really need the points at the bottom of the constructors. So it's Brad Mason who wins from Swanton. Mr. Pickle was 3rd. Ronnie, your Pro-Am winner, in 4th. If that holds up in the stewards' room after that incident with Al Newt. Miller Vanilla from last on the grid was 5th. Then it was Levi in 6th, taking a double podium for Ferrari in the main and Pro-Am. 50 Gent was 7th from Simon 8th, Skippy 9, and Sloth was 10th. Then we have Easy Life, Colin, Ninjas, Smug, Joker, Al Newt. Joker with the fastest lap of the race. Senna 17, El Buckle 18, and the DNS was Sainsey and Boris Johnson. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for tuning in. And to Bazza as well, thank you very much. Squid and Stacey also dropping comments. Thank you very much for that. I will be back with Blobby Mondays with Baker Plays in about 45 minutes' time. Until then, folks, that's it for DRS. Join on DRS, DRO UK once again on Thursday night at 8 PM. I won't be here, I'll be at Ibrox, but there will be someone filling in for me for DRS Extreme. See you later.